Well, good morning, good morning, good morning, and welcome to this morning's episode of Monday Motivation. It is Monday, the 5th of March. No longer the 4th. So I'll just rip another page off my calendar here. And why did I do that? Because I want to get into the energy, into the spirit, into the excitement of what this Monday, this morning, and this week and this month have got to offer. So this morning I wanted to just share some nuggets that were inspired just yesterday, because I heard of the passing of the very, very inspirational Roger Bannister. Now, for those of you that are thinking, Roger Bannister, I wrote a little something a few minutes after I found out the news, the sad news, on Twitter. So if you want to scroll down after this video, you'll see a post that I wrote yesterday and posted on here. So if you're watching and you or someone you know could use a little Monday motivation, please do share this on your timeline, because by sharing it on your timeline, you actually share it with your friends and family. And by sharing it with your friends and family, you never know who in your circle, who of your friends might need to hear this message to really kind of pick them up on a Monday morning. So first off the bat is Ian. He says, "A up, good morning, Jenny." A up, good morning, Ian, who I know is viewing all the way from the, looks like it's going to be a sunny UK today. I love that now when I'm doing these and getting ready for these, that it's actually light before I get started. Yay! So I thought this morning would be a really great morning to share some inspiration around that 4-minute mile. So here are some of the nuggets that really resonate with me, and I know because they resonate with me, they'll resonate with many of you too. So Roger Bannister decided, for whatever reason, that he was going to run the 4-minute mile, a mile in under 4 minutes. Now, you've got to think about this. Like, think about something in your life. Morning, Ivona. Think about something in your life that you know is possible. Deep down, you know is possible. Something that you really want to do. But when you share it with certain people, they tell you to kind of, I think you're being a bit unrealistic there. You might need to pull that back a bit. I don't know, you know. And all of a sudden, this kind of cloud of doubt comes over. Well, in a world that tells you you can't, know that you can. And that's probably worth tweeting if you're on Twitter. In a world that tells you you can't, know that you can. And here's how to be unshakable. Here's how to be unstoppable. Here's how to drive yourself and be motivated. Good morning, Tessa. Thank you for joining. Here's how to motivate yourself when you want to do something and people all around you are very quick to tell you that you can't. Well, one of the first things that I highly recommend, if the thing that you want to do feels like a dream, feels like a vision, feels like something that's going to be quite difficult or quite hard, then the first thing to do is get into clarity. Get into clarity as to what it is you want. I don't believe for a moment that Roger Bannister said, I want to run really fast. Maybe a mile, maybe 10 miles, maybe half a mile. I don't know, something around that area. I think I'm going to just do some running and see how fast I can go. I don't think he said, time-wise, about kind of, let's see if I can do it 5 to 10 minutes-ish, something like that. Good morning, Alan. I certainly don't believe he said, yeah, well, if I start practicing for it now, then maybe in 10, 20 years' time, somebody will do it. But in order to motivate yourself to do something that other people might not think is possible, you need to be really crystal clear. You need to get really focused, be very, very specific, and you can see kind of in my body language, in my hand gestures, just look at that thin slice of the thing you want to do. So much of our life is spent in overwhelm of thinking we've got so many different things to do that we sometimes forget that we can take them one by one and get really laser focused. So think about something, especially for this Monday, this morning, even this week or month, that you know you want to get done, and see if you can apply a bit of Roger Bannister to it to get it really, really focused, really, really definite. Things like, oh, I'd like to write a book one day. Be really specific. What kind of book would you like to write? What date would you like to have it written by? Which audience specifically would it really benefit? Who would it be for? You know, if Roger was to have used his 4-minute mile analogy to write a book and said, well, anybody can run the 4-minute mile, he would have been absolutely right. But in order to be laser focused, he could have said something like, this will appeal to people who want to break through boundaries, people who are sick and tired of other people telling them things are impossible. Now, to my knowledge, he didn't write and do that. But this is how to apply some of the stuff that I think really is inspirational, really is inspiring, because of course, when people became aware that Roger wanted to run this mile in under 4 minutes or under, a lot of people said it's not possible, it's not doable, you can't do it. No one's done this before. How on earth can you make this happen? You've got to be an absolute machine. And then of course, once he ran the 4-minute mile, look how many other people started to run the 4-minute mile. And there's another lovely juicy nugget in that I hope will inspire you, because it certainly inspires me, in that there's a saying that whatever the mind can believe or achieve, you can succeed, or something like that. Now, if you don't think you can do something, the likelihood of you doing it is unlikely. But remember, the word impossible says, I'm possible. So what is it this day, this moment, this Monday, that you know you want to do? What is it that you know you need to focus down on? What is it that you would like some clarity around? And if you're feeling a little bit unclear with this, I do have a gorgeous group of people called the Visibility Vibes Tribe, who they're like your life's cheerleaders. You know, you go in there, people will say, oh, I'm struggling with this, and you know, people will come back and give you lots of different ideas, help, advice, experiences, insights and things like that. Or people will say, like, this is the thing, I want to go for it. And it'll be one of the few places online that everybody rallies around you and says you can absolutely do it. So what is the thing that you want to do? Get really crystal clear. I always say one of the best ways, because we sometimes think we're clear. I know I certainly think, oh yeah, I'm really clear about it, and then recognise the vagueness. Oh, I've got to remember to book my flight. Well, I've got to remember to book my flight isn't specific, it's very vague. But I need to book my flight by 5 p.m. today is crystal clear. Okay, so get clear on the thing that you want to do, and if it's a cluster of things, break it down. To write, publish and sell a book are 3 different things, for example. To increase your visibility so that more people can find you is a very big, broad brushstroke. But to get really specific, you might say something like, you know what, I want to be more visible in a specific community, so here's what I'm going to do on a daily basis for the next 4 weeks. Or I want to be more visible at work, so I'm going to take the opportunity and time to really listen in the meetings and find out what the best next step is and do that. And this is one of mine from way back in 2003. I've decided that I really want to expand my career, extend my career. So I want to make sure that I'm earning X amount more per year. I want to ensure that I have the ability to do A, B and C. And I got really, really, really specific. Hi, Bridget. Hi, Carol. Thanks for saying hi. Good morning. So get really, really specific on the thing you want to do. Maybe you've got a plan B for something. You know, you're trying to do one thing and you've got a plan B. Get really specific on what that plan B is, what the exit strategy is, what the stretch strategy is, whatever that thing is. And once you get really crystal clear, it's like when somebody nudges you and says, I don't think you've got it, I don't think you can do it, you're absolutely steadfast because you've got all the detail and you know what the next thing is that you would need to do. Does that make sense? So definitely cut it down. And Carol says, so useful, bite-sized plans. Absolutely, we all fall into it. I have to rein myself in sometimes, and I coach people on this, you know. I think, right, today I'm going to finish my copy for my website. I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. Well, finishing the copy for the website means getting the graphics ordered. Finishing the copy for the website means sometimes taking the time out to sit and write a specific piece about a specific area. So really chunk it down. And remember, when life tells you that you can't, I certainly, for one, want you to know that you absolutely can. It's part of the reason that I get up so early on a Monday to deliver this live and don't just sort of sit and record a video and churn it out, because I want that interaction with you. I want you to know that you can, because I know deep down that you can. You know deep down that you can. But sometimes we hear a lot of people telling us about the things we can't do. And on that note, if you find that people are telling you can't do something, it might not necessarily be because they don't believe in you. The nearest and dearest people that we share our plans with will always be concerned for us, will always love us, will always worry about us. And very often they do it or come from a place of protection. But when you are on a mission, an absolute desire to go for something that you want to get done, take care with who you share it with. Okay, so Tessa says, yes, for sure. And Ivona says, really needed to hear your word today. Thank you. You're so, so welcome. So the second lesson that I shared from Roger's passing was that he really led by example. How many times do we get into a place, and again, this is not a criticism, this is an observation of what I see which stops us, myself included, stops myself, stops my clients, stops the people that I am lucky enough to work with, stops organisations, stops management teams, stops very, very high performers. And that is that they talk a lot about what they want to do, but when it comes down to it, they don't take any action to do it. They don't take any action to do it. So, sorry, I just had something go halfway across my screen then, and I want to be able to see you. So, lead by example. And this is not about stretching yourself or stretching your goals so far that you feel overwhelmed, that you feel that it's too big or too much. This is all about looking at the thing that you want to do, looking at the thing that you want to achieve. You know, once Rogister got it, Rogister, once, that could be hashtag Rogister, Roger Bannister got it into his head that he wanted to run that mile in 4 minutes. He did whatever it took to get to that place. So sometimes there's a step by step. It doesn't have to take a long time, but there's a step by step. What needs to happen first? And a very real example from my life of this was last year when I went to watch the London Marathon, and I said on one of these Monday motivations, you know, the London Marathon so inspires me, and that I know at that moment in time I could not run a marathon, and it'd be really great to run it one day. And Alan, who's watching live now, called me out on it and said, so what are you going to do about it? And I went, yeah, I'm going to start running soon. And it's funny because that moment stayed with me, because I thought, well, if I want to run a marathon and I can't run one now, something needs to give. I need to start something. I need to start running. And you know how many months it took me to make and take that really seriously? Do you know how long it took me to be able to really think about, like, what would need to go next? What would I have to do? And I made up all the reasons, quote, excuses in my mind why I couldn't do it right then, you know. Oh, I would need to eat properly first and change my diet up. I would need to, you know, probably join a running club first. I'd need to research into the right sorts of trainers to get first. When in fact, what I needed to do comes on to the next point of just do it, you know. The famous sportswear brand that said just do it. Roger Bannister decided what he wanted to do. He got clarity on what he wanted to do. He made the decision and he went for it and he did it. So lead by example. What is the thing that you know, and on this, I really want to invite you to get really passionate about your desires, whether this is a personal thing, whether this is a business thing. If you're happy to share what that thing is, please type it in the box below. And here's the reason why I invite you to do that. By typing it in the box below, it encourages other people, it inspires other people, it motivates other people, and it lets other people know that their thing is possible too. It also lets them know that they're not alone. However, if you don't want to type it out here on a public page, then go to the top of this page, click on the button and join the Visibility Vibes Tribe group, and use Monday to either motivate yourself to be motivated or to motivate somebody else in your dream, your plan, your desire. Your goal could be health and well-being, it could be financial, it could be relationship, it could be business, it could be any one of those things. The best way to achieve that goal is to make sure that there's a part that you can play in it, a part that you're responsible for, a part that you can do. So having a goal that your child goes to university might not be the best goal to have, and here's why. There's only so much that you can do in preparation for your child going to university. The rest is down to them. So make sure it's something that is for you, something that you can take responsibility for, i.e. your ability to respond for and to, and make sure that it's something that you can do and lead by example just to get started, something that you can do yourself. And then the next thing that I'd written down was don't wait. Don't wait for permission. So many of us get into a place where we wait for permission. We wait to be recognised. You know, we wait for the recognition. I know that in my back in the day when I worked in financial services, although having made the decision that I wanted to improve my career and raise, you know, go through the corporate ladder, so to speak, and I did that, there were times where I nearly didn't move on something because I felt that, well, rather than being too quote unquote pushy, I should wait until one of the directors recognised the you know, fundamental piece that I played in this project, or, you know, one of the pivotal moments came for me. And it doesn't work that way. But what does work is to be able to shine your light on your own zone of genius, shine your light on what is excellent about something that you're doing, and to be able to explain it to others in a way that doesn't just sound like me, this is what I'm doing, here's why I'm brilliant, look at me, and more like, here's why this is important, to be able to influence the people that you're around. And I especially come across this with my corporate clients, where maybe they've got to influence people in a meeting to understand a problem that they might not even know that they've got. So they've either got to influence them, they've got to be highly visible, they need to make sure that people understand. And I know that with the work that some of you do, whether you're self-employed, if you're self-employed, you will need to have an impact on the people around you. You will need visibility so that they know that you're even there in the first place. And you'll need to be visible so that they know that you're the person that can. And if you're working in a corporate environment, the impact that you'll need to make is being able to maybe solve a problem for that business, for that organisation, for that company, and being able to articulate it in a way that makes impact so that the company, the organisation are persuaded that actually here's where we do need to make a change, here's where we do need to make a difference. And then there's a statistic that says that regardless of how good you are at your role, that 62% of people that get promoted at work or get spoken about, if you know you're a self-employed company or a business, are people who are highly visible. This is why marketing became so relevant and so prevalent. But in this day and age, we need to master the art of our own self-visibility, our own self-marketing, if you like, our own brand, so that people not only know what we do, feel the impact of what we do, but understand why we're the person to do it for them. And this is something that I could hold like an 8-hour Monday motivation on, but I know you don't have 8 hours. So don't wait for permission. Look at ways in which you can influence, which you can make an impact, which you can articulate the value that you're adding. And if you're stuck on that, then seriously look at how you can obtain help to get that. And of course, I'm one of those options. And if that is something that's been crossing your mind for a while and you want to discuss it further, just go up to the top, hit the message button and send me a message. The way in which I've been working has changed very, very slightly, and there are some changes that are being made behind the scenes in my business. So if this is something you've been thinking about for a while, then definitely do get in contact and let me know, and let's discuss how we can navigate that. There's various different ways in which you can do that. So the thing that I really want to urge you is don't wait for permission. If you know that there's something important that you want to share in the world, that you want to be seen, that you want corporate visibility or professional visibility, make sure that you're not waiting for permission. Now, how does this time with Roger Bannister running the 4 Minute Mile? Roger Bannister only started running when he was 17. 2 years after that, he was actually approached to or considered to be part of the British Olympic team in 1948. That was just 2 years after he started running. Don't be fooled into the thought that in order to do something you have to wait years and years and years. Like, if you know that in your industry, for example, it's normally taken 5 years for somebody to do something, look at the one thing that you can start doing now to get you on that trajectory, and look at shrinking the timelines. Do you need to study more? Do you need to watch a bit less TV? Do you need to wake up an hour earlier? Do you need to make sure that you go to bed an hour or two earlier so that you're not so tired the next day and it gets you into, a long start? Look at the specifics of what you need to do and do not wait for permission. Thank you so much for watching this Monday Motivation. Sending lots of love to those of you that said hi. And if you're not part of the Visibility Vibes Tribe group, do click on the button above and go and enjoy. And we've got something very special for you tomorrow, Tuesday, 11 o'clock, which is only going to be broadcast in that Vibes group. But I'm wishing you the most motivational, the most happiest Monday on the planet. And to Roger Bannister, who crossed the finishing line at 88, do rest in peace. Thank you for watching. Thanks, and bye for now.